guys? It's your boy Josh Showtime. It's my man Josh Valles, and we are here to talk boxing. All right. Once again, Showtime's Fight For. Make sure you follow, subscribe, and like as always. And we have our Twitter page, y'all. We have officially our own Twitter. Josh, what's our Twitter handle?
It's going to be at Josh's Fight Forum. So give us a follow, give us a shout out. We'll definitely return the love.
Absolutely. Now, today is going to be a dream matchup. This is something I've been wanting to do. I've done it myself, but it's more fun to do it with someone else, personally. Just so you can have that camaraderie, that debate, and get what other people's head is. Because at the end of the day, I know for a fact I'm not always right, especially when it comes to this boxing thing. You're not always right. No one's always right. But it's still fun banter. Let's get this thing going. I want to hear what you guys think about this, all right? We are going to do the old school, the biggest debate, personally, I think that has ever been in boxing. I've seen it so many times. I've seen it since I was a kid. I even think it was on Fight Night, which was Muhammad Ali versus Mike Tyson. Two of probably, we can both say, are the biggest stars that has ever come to boxing. I don't think there's bigger stars that we've ever seen than those two guys. Pay-per-view star, we already know that's Floyd. But when it comes to like iconic stars that will be known forever, and Floyd will be known forever too, I'm not saying he won't. But the guys that everybody knows who's everybody's favorite fighter, it's always Ali, Mike Tyson. So we're gonna do the fan old debate of who's the best and who would win who's the best. We already know who's the best. Who will win in a fight between these two heavyweight champions? Now, Josh, how are we feeling about this matchup?
I'm feeling great about this matchup. I think it's a matchup that, they always say styles make fights, right? And so we got two different styles here. But both of them, definitely got what the other one is best at, right? A lot of people talk about what when it comes to Mike Tyson? His power. Muhammad Ali got power. A lot of people talk about what when it comes to Muhammad Ali? The way he floated around the ring, his mobility, right? Mike Tyson got boxing skills too, so love this matchup. Definitely a height differential situation here, but yeah, I'm feeling great about this matchup, and I already know who I'm rolling with.
So, to break the fight down, like you already mentioned, everybody knows Mike Tyson is not a big heavyweight. He's a pretty small heavyweight. But yet and still, he has all the attributes that makes up for the small size. Realistically, like, he's quicker than everybody, and he punches just as hard as anybody. But yet and still, like you mentioned, he's a very technical fighter as well. With Costa de Amata, he was freaking phenomenal. But that's that's an excuse I'll talk about for another time. But yet and still, he was a guy who developed Mike Tyson and got him to where he was before he passed away, unfortunately. And we don't see anybody fight with his style anymore. But yet and still, it was so magnificent. But like you mentioned with Ali, was a guy who great footwork, elite footwork, who punches and bunches. But I think the most underrated thing and the thing that people don't talk about most is he had the best IQ out of anybody that he fought. He was just a smarter guy. He knew what to do. Like, he knew what your weaknesses was and he knew how to exploit them. And he also knew how to get you out your game, which is still part of your IQ. He knew talking to you would annoy you. He was the guy, like everybody knows about Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor got all his stuff from who? Ali. He was the guy who was the big mouth guy, who got the fans involved, who will psych you out your own game. You got to think, this man talked so much trash, he got shot at. Like, this man was the elite of the elite when it comes to the mental warfare, to the physical warfare. Like, the guy's body was absolutely, like, it went through hell. You look at his resume, he fought everybody he needed to fight and came out on top against most of them.
Yeah, no shame in Muhammad Ali's record. Some of the most iconic fights of all time. Right? Not even discussing what he did around the world. So yeah, he definitely had his, his reign, but you got to look at a guy like Mike Tyson, a guy that a lot of people would say all he can do is punch, all he can do is this. but he's shown time and time again he had the boxing skill, he had the chin, he had the footwork himself, he had that dog in him himself. Um, so, I mean, really, it can go either way here. But
No, it could not. Cut it
we
out.
can let you go.
Cut it. My thing is, I've said this before. I love Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson's a legend. I think he's a borderline top 10 heavyweight. And I probably have him outside of my top 10. But if because honestly, we should probably do that another day. But he's on a borderline. He's at that 10 to, in my opinion, he's at the 10 to 15 range as far as all-time heavyweights. And like you said, styles make fights. So just because I could have Mike Tyson 13 and still say I think he would beat Muhammad Ali, because like you said, styles make matches. There are certain people who just don't fight well against other guys. Like it's weird, but that's how it goes. Some people, what you're bad at, he's really good at, and he's able to take advantage of it every single time. But I don't think that this is the case. I'll tell you why. What would you say is some of Mike Tyson's weaknesses? I'll ask you. What is Mike Tyson's weaknesses?
I would say leaving himself open for shots taking shots he doesn't need to take. Like when you look at some of Mike Tyson's fights, I'm like, he didn't need to take that punch, right? Like if he would have just did what he knows what to do, right? Cover up or move around, right? I think he took a lot of unnecessary punishment in some fights where it was his downfall.
I will say this, and I know, matter of fact, Chris, make sure you put this as a clip, because I already know people going to complain, and I don't care, because it's just a fact. Mike Tyson is nowhere near as mentally tough as people want to say. And I'm not saying he's a mentally weak fighter. I'm not saying that. However, time and time again, if you look at his fights, you will see he gave up on himself. Why did he bite? Why did he bite his ear? He was losing the fight, and people are gonna say, "Oh, he was headbutting him. Okay, who was leading with their heads? Both of them was. So they both was headbutting each other. But he just got TKO by the same guy, and he's losing the fight again. What's the easy way out? Oh, my bite. You look at the McBride fight, which is him well past his prime. But he was having good rounds. But what happened? McBride stuck around. And what happened? He eventually got knocked out, quote unquote. It really wasn't a knockout. If you really look at Mike Tyson's fights, outside of maybe the Buster Douglas fights, he really never got knocked out. He got TKO'd. And this is what I'm saying. Is I think that there was plenty of fights, or a few of the fights, he very well could have kept on fighting, but he gave up on himself. And you hear how Mike Tyson talks before fights. He'll sit here and say, "Oh yeah, like mentally I'm scared, this, that, and the third. And then when I get in the ring, I'm a god." He said that. But to also have another person who doesn't back down, who's literally in your face still and dropping bombs, can sit there and bring you back from that I'm a god moment to I don't think I am. Maybe I'm not. And I've noticed when guys stood up to him and he wasn't the bully, he got knocked out. Now, do you know that Mike Tyson has never lost a fight by decision? And you already mentioned before that you don't think Mike Tyson has a bad chin. I don't think Mike Tyson has a bad chin. What does that tell you? If he doesn't have a bad chin, but he's gotten stopped each and every fight that he's lost, what does that tell you?
I mean, to your point, it does talk about giving up, but it also could mean, there are such thing as bad stoppages, right? Some DQs, some disqualifications, no contest. There's a lot that goes into that, but yeah, I mean, I do think his emotions got the best of him in some of his fights. I do think that he didn't keep his emotions in check between round 1 through 12, right? And I think that we all can agree Mike Tyson had, at the time, maybe some mental health concerns going on, which alluded to probably his output in the ring, or the lack of. But 100%. But again, you said it yourself. Even with some of those fights, they were past his prime. So we're talking about what, in his 40s, Mike Tyson gave up on himself.
The event of it, he was 30.
Yeah, but that I'll give you that. The Evander Holyfield, no excuse. No matter what age, you shouldn't be biting anyone in a boxing ring. I mean, like that's just barbaric. But with McBride, some other fighters. I mean, I just feel like in some fights you have to look at Mike Tyson's career as a whole before you judge the actual fight, right? Like even with Buster Douglas, it's almost like, I mean, this guy's in Tokyo, Japan. All the world is going against him right now. It's a 42-1 underdog. I think in some of his fights there was just a lot going on where mentally he just couldn't focus on the fight.
But that goes into my point, though. That's literally my point of saying he's not the most mentally strong guy. Like, people want to come up with so many excuses for Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson has the most excuses ever. And once again, I don't want to come off as a hater because I don't hate Mike Tyson. I do like Mike Tyson. But I'm just stating what happened. And there's so many excuses. He was on drugs when he fought Buster. He partied all the time, this, that, and third. We heard Sugar Ray Leonard was on the Booger Sugar. Sugar Ray Leonard was out there partying, beating his wife. He literally told people that. He still was winning fights. He still was, and he was fighting better fighters. Way better fighters than Mike Tyson was fighting, and he still was winning. So I don't want to hear this. Mentally tough guys can get through mentally tough situations. John Jones was over here doing Booger Sugar, and he was out there partying. He didn't even train, and he beat Daniel Cormier.
Twice.
In a 5-round war. Mm-hmm. Like, brother, I don't want to hear about this whole situation about Mike Tyson partying, and that's why he wasn't focused on the fight. Buster was supposed to be a gimme fight. Buster was nowhere near Mike Tyson's level. That was there's a reason why the odds was the way they were. That fight wasn't supposed to be close. So even with you partying, not focusing, him having the best training camp of his life, Mike Tyson was still supposed to get the job done. And I don't even care about harping on just that fight because everybody wanted to just bring that fight up. And yes, he was in his prime during that fight, but he still was in his prime versus Evander Holyfield and got whooped twice. So I have so many, and this is besides the point because at the end of the day, once again, styles make fights. These guys don't fight like Muhammad Ali. So like, for instance, I'll give you one. I think Joe Frazier is is higher up on the all-time list of heavyweights than Mike Tyson. I think Joe Frazier's higher. I think Mike Tyson would knock out Joe Frazier.
I think that's a fair assessment. I don't think that's and we're not talking bad about Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier only has 4 losses in his career, and his 4 losses are against all elite people. George Foreman and Muhammad Ali. It's only 2. He's really only lost to 2 people. So I mean, that's not a bad person to put in front of Mike Tyson. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. So. And I would say if they fought, I would have Mike Tyson. Granted, I could also see Joe Frazier winning, but I think that Mike Tyson being the bigger guy of the two, actually, and I think that he will land those bombs. And I'm not the biggest fan of his little. I don't even know what the style's called because they don't really do that anymore. But like, I do think that Mike Tyson would probably KO him. But yeah, still, I'll have him on a higher grade of all time. But we're talking about Ali versus Tyson. And I just think that Ali has never been KO'd, ever. He's stopped on the corner, and that was well past his prime. He's been dropped numerous amount of times. Mike Tyson probably could drop Ali, because Ali has dropped many a times, even in his prime, during his prime. I mean, before his prime, during his prime, after his prime. He gets caught, he goes down, but he always gets back up. And I think he has one of the most underrated chins ever, personally. Because when you think about the fighters he fought and the fact that he's never been KO'd, nobody's ever put his lights out, is unbelievable. And to think Mike Tyson would be the guy to do it, I can't see it. Does he punch harder than George Foreman? Are we sure about that? I'm not too sure. Yeah. It's possible.
We're 100% sure about that. We're 100% sure about that. You're 100% sure that
he punches harder than George Foreman?
When have you ever heard anyone say, oh man, I'd rather have George Foreman's power over Mike Tyson?
I've never heard nobody even bring that conversation up. I mean,
exactly.
I haven't heard.
Exactly my point. No one has even brought up that conversation because it's almost laughable. Why George Foreman over Mike Tyson? Or George Foreman was more so known for, yes, his power and his good boxing and so forth. But Mike Tyson was solely known for his power over anything else in as far as his boxing career is
George
concerned.
Foreman was literally known for his power. That's his calling card. He puts people. Brother, how many times did he drop Joe Frazier in one damn round? He dropped him 4 times.
No
what did
one
he
would
do
ever.
to Michael Moore?
No one would
The
ever
only
say
reason why he,
no. No, no one would
brother,
ever say I would rather have George Foreman power than Mike Tyson.
my guy. No, and I'm not even. He knocked out Michael Moore, who also was in Mike Tyson's era for the championship. That was the only way he was ever going to win the fight, was by knockout. And he has that. That's what he does. That's what. Look, if you want to say, listen, if you want to say Mike Tyson has no power,
44 knockouts. I don't get your point.
Mike Tyson has 44 knockouts
Out of 50 wins.
I mean, and
yeah.
how many does George Foreman have?
Let's see here.
I can tell you it's a lot more than a little bit.
60,
I can tell you that much.
68, but that's only because he has more fights. I'm just telling you, no one is going to sit there and say, "Yeah, I'd rather have George Foreman power over Mike Tyson." It's just not going to happen. No one would ever say that. No one would ever.
I don't believe that. I think people would say that. I think casuals wouldn't say that. I think people who don't really know much about George Foreman would say that. But if you watch George Foreman fight, why would you would 100% think, I don't know. George Foreman was killing folks.
Brother, if you're watching this show right now, leave a comment right now or shoot us a message on Twitter X. Whose power would you rather have? Mike Tyson's power or George Foreman's power? Okay. I would rather have Mike Tyson's power. He gets way more knockout, lights out, and it's what he's known for. Did you ever see George Foreman on a video game cover? No, you haven't.
That's because he fought in the 80s. What are you talking about? No video games. Don't do that.
Muhammad Ali was on a video game cover.
Yes, because he's the greatest ever. Like he's the second greatest heavyweight ever, of course.
There's been Knockout Kings. There's been Fight Nights. There's been different video games. No one thinks about Big George Foreman over Mike Tyson regarding power. It's never happened.
Okay. Listen, I'm going off the facts. We talking about 68 knockouts, brother. 68 KOs.
Okay, well, Julio Cesar Chavez is the greatest fighter ever because he has 200 wins.
But we're not gonna act like George Foreman didn't also knock out elite fighters. Like, come on, brother. Like we can't do that. Like,
I'm not saying he didn't knock out elite fighters. What I'm saying is, no one's taking his power over Mike Tyson's power. It's just not gonna happen. Let's see here. Let's see who he did knock out. All right, all these knockouts, right? So we got 68 knockouts.
I can tell you who you knocked out.
No Wikipedia.
He knocked out Ken Norton. He knocked out Joe Frazier twice.
Yep. And lost. He got knocked out by Muhammad Ali. He got knocked out by Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Did it? That's it. I mean, the two people that you named, that's it. I mean, other than that.
So Ken Norton, who literally beat Muhammad Ali, he knocked out. Joe Frazier, who also beat Muhammad Ali, he's knocked out twice. And then you got a list full of other folks that he's knocked out. And you're going to sit here and try to tell me that this man, you're trying to tell me it's not debatable. Who is Mike Tyson knocked out? That was actually in their prime.
I mean, every fighter he fought was in their prime, right?
No, everybody he fought was not in their prime.
Anytime that Mike Tyson, listen, I'll look it up right now to the point where, yes, wait, time out though. But you have to give Mike Tyson the benefit of the doubt in regards to his career because no one wanted to fight him.
There's a whole documentary about Evander Holyfield chasing Mike Tyson. It's called Chasing Tyson.
One fighter. That he ended up fighting anyways.
And lost. Twice.
That's why they came up with the documentary because he eventually ended up fighting him. It was a full circle moment.
We also have to remember when Tyson had the title, the heavyweight division wasn't good. It wasn't good. There wasn't that many good
now we're
fighters.
hating on, now we're hating on his competition.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie about competition just to supersede anything. I'm gonna just tell the truth. His competition wasn't great. Larry Holmes was still champion. Like Larry Holmes was still having a belt. Okay, and Larry Holmes is in the era of freaking Muhammad Ali. Like I don't want to hear anything like brother. When the division got hot was in the 90s. Listen, 80s was not a good era for heavyweight boxing. 90s, it started to become good again. That's when you got the Riddick Bows. That's when you ended up getting the Lennox Lewises. And then obviously Mike Tyson was still there, Evander Holyfield. You started getting all these crazy fights. But the 80s, it wasn't that great. So he was going against those heavyweights.
No one is gonna sit there and say, all right, create your perfect heavyweight. IQ, Muhammad Ali. Power, George Foreman. No one's saying that. No one's saying it would probably be like IQ, Muhammad Ali. Power, Mike Tyson. Movement, Tyson Fury.
I could probably pick 3 guys that I would pick over him as far as power goes.
Dude, they have a heavyweight champion of the world of this era. His name is Tyson Fury, and he was named after Mike Tyson. His name is not Foreman Fury. Because he was popular. Why was he popular?
Because he was knocking folks out. I'm confused. Okay.
So what is he known for then?
George Foreman is known for grills. What am I supposed to say to that? Like, does that mean George Foreman is no longer
being a huge? George Foreman was known for being a huge heavyweight with good power, exciting. Fought until he was, 80. Got the grills that helped in his favor. But once again, the question was, whose power would you rather have? No one is saying I would rather have George Foreman's power, except for you. And we about to find out in these comments below. You can
right. And it's fine. And I bet you most of the people who pick Tyson only watch Tyson. They're Tyson stans. That's what they are. They don't really like boxing. They only seen the highlights. They probably haven't even seen George Foreman fight. I've actually watched YouTube fights of all of George Foreman's big fights. And I've also watched some of his smaller fights, but I know he's not gonna get credit for those, so I don't even bring those up. But I watched his fights. His power was crazy. Like to sit here and even act like it's not debatable is ridiculous. That's my biggest thing. It is very debatable, and I personally would pick George Foreman. That's all I'm saying. You don't knock folks out at the age of 45. As I recall, McBride was over here taking Mike Tyson punches, and Mike Tyson was only 36.
Hey, like I said, ain't nobody discrediting George Foreman. I'm just saying no one is immediately thinking heavyweight power, George Foreman. It's heavyweight power, Mike Tyson.
And that's your fault. And if you don't think that, that's your fault. That's not my fault. At the end of the day, do your research, look them up, and then maybe you'll open your eyes up. But it's back to Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali. If he could take George Foreman punches, I 100% believe and know he could take Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is quicker of the two, and I think that would be an adjustment for Mike Tyson. I'm not Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, and I think that will get him caught, and I possibly get dropped in the fight. But yet and still, the fight IQ, I do think that he would get Mike Tyson out of his game, and I do think he will hurt Mike Tyson's confidence before the fight, and I definitely think he'll hurt it during the fight by saying, hey, yeah, you're punching me. Yeah, somebody's hurt. I could take more of them, and I think that will wear on him. And I know for a fact that the pace of Muhammad Ali also will wear on Mike Tyson. And I think Mike Tyson will get stopped. It already goes to show, if you beat Mike Tyson, you stop him. Nobody has beaten him by decision. Muhammad Ali wouldn't. I think he would do a similar thing that he did to George Foreman, except for he wouldn't have to rope-a-dope him. I think that he would just use his footwork. He would probably have to eat some, but he would just jab him up until he gets tired, keep on putting punches and bunches, and he would get a stoppage in the 10th round. I think that would be a 10th round KO by my man's Muhammad Ali, and Mike Tyson would get slept.
No one is ever saying any of this stuff. What is going into you today? Mike Tyson is not getting slept by no Muhammad Ali. Are you kidding me? Maybe he beats Muhammad. Maybe he loses to Muhammad Ali. I'll give you that by unanimous decision. He is nowhere near knocking out a Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson a prime
Who
Mike
do you
Tyson.
think Mike Tyson is?
We're talking about a fully focused Mike Tyson, no problems, no anything. That's the Mike Tyson that I'm referring to.
So you're talking about a myth because there's no such thing.
Yes, there is a such thing. Look at it. Look at a third of his career to start. I mean, he didn't have really the problems he had going on until he really became champion, right? So,
Brother,
let's say
do you believe
pre-champion Mike Tyson does not get stopped by no butterfly sting like a bee Muhammad Ali. And I'm not saying Muhammad Ali don't got power, because you know that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he don't stop a Tyson. He don't stop Tyson.
You guys and your Mike Tyson excuses. A fully focused Mike Tyson, or the first third of his career. Y'all don't know how focused
you said
he
it
was.
didn't
Brother,
exist. You're the one
Mike
that
Tyson was
You said
Mike
it didn't
Tyson
exist.
was
I'm like,
always
it doesn't.
Mike Tyson.
Huh?
Mike Tyson was always Mike Tyson, brother. Like, he was always a crazy guy. He always was this mentally interesting human being. He's always been that way. That's why they had to bring him to that compound, and then he had to get him to solely try to focus on it because he was such a loose cannon. Brother, he's always been Mike Tyson. I don't understand why we're coming to this thing where he's fully focused. He didn't do no drugs. He didn't party. He didn't do anything. Y'all watch too many documentaries, brother. Mike Tyson was always crazy. Mike Tyson always did the wild stuff that he always did. And it might have gotten worse, but he always was that guy. And I don't want to hear about that. Sure, a fully focused Mike Tyson is still getting TKO'd. Because as I recall, if Buster Douglas can do it, if Evander Holyfield can do it, why? If all these guys can do it, why can't Muhammad Ali do it? That's what I'm confused about.
Because this is the best of Mike Tyson versus the best of Muhammad Ali. That's why we're having these conversations. And on any given Saturday, yeah, Muhammad Ali, I could see myself, or I can see beating Mike Tyson like really any day of the week. But TKO or KO on a prime Mike Tyson that has no problems, no anything in his system, Muhammad Ali, it's gonna be punching a brick wall coming right at him with a lot of firepower too, in my personal opinion. Mike Tyson, if anybody's stopping anybody, Mike Tyson stops Muhammad Ali.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. At least what I say has actually been done, like in his actual prime. Like, I've actually seen somebody get slept like Mike Tyson in his prime. I've never seen that with Ali. But hey, if that's what y'all want to believe, then it is what it is. But like you said, you got your man Mike. I got my man Muhammad Ali. But we want to hear what you guys think. And at the end of the day, if you haven't watched Muhammad Ali, I don't really care about your opinion, but you can still leave a comment, but I personally don't care. I would prefer somebody who watched both. And I would love to hear what you guys think, all right? I got Muhammad Ali. He got Mike Tyson. Leave it down on the comments and tell us what y'all think. And follow us on social media. And also, we want to hear what you guys think on social media, too. Make sure you share, comment, and like. Josh, you got anything to say before we get off?
Yeah, just make sure you guys follow us on our new X page, and we look forward to interacting with you all, moving forward on a whole new level on different platforms.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys, man. And you are insane if you don't think George Foreman don't have power. All right, let's go ahead, and we're going to be out, man. Thank you guys, man. Stay blessed.